Strategy says, doesn't matter how fast you're going if you're going in the wrong direction. And figuring out where the prevailing winds are, figuring out who we're trying to help, getting that part clear before we start racing around with all the tactics and the clicking and the posting is so important.
We have a fantastic show for you today about Seth Godin and his book, This is Strategy. This is Strategic Basics, so of course we got to talk about strategy. And that clip you just saw is from Why Strategy Always Beats Talent with Chase Jarvis interviewing Seth Godin. There were so many things that I loved about this interview. Let's take a deeper dive and give these nuggets to you. They could change your life and your business. Let's get into it.
It's to get better clients. Better clients demand more, talk about you more, come back more often, pay you more.
That is so key. Get better clients. It's the key to breakthrough and have a good strategy to attract those clients.
And you don't get better clients by doing a really good job for bad clients. You get better clients by creating the conditions for better clients to seek you out.
Exactly. Let's take a peek at another clip from this wonderful interview.
Best employee doesn't waste her time. When you're working in the business, you're the best employee doing your job. And as someone who's been a freelancer off and on for 40 years, particularly when times are tough, we find ourselves leaning in to working in the business as much as we possibly can, thinking that's going to solve the problem. But 10 minutes of working on the business can be transformative. Because in those 10 minutes, you can say, you know what? I don't need to keep writing mediocre copy. I'm just going to hire Claude.ai to do it for me. And I just save myself an hour a day, which I'm going to.
This is so key. We get so caught up working in the business, doing the tasks, making lists, get all busy. We're burned out at the end of the day, but just 10 minutes doing strategy can change the trajectory of your business. It can double or triple or 10x your income. And just like Seth Godin is saying there, strategy is your lever, and it's not to be ignored, especially in times of challenge. Let's take a listen.
To go spend doing something hard, right? That decision is not easy to make because you're feeling stressed and you just want to do something all day to keep up. But the short version of this is a lot of people listening to this want to have a job without a boss. And if that's what you've signed up for, I have to inform you, you probably have a really, really lousy boss. So
this is the key thing as entrepreneurs. We don't want to be our own worst boss, and that can happen so easily, especially when we neglect strategy. I highly recommend you grab a copy of This is Strategy by Seth Godin. Let's lean into this a little bit more. He also was interviewed by Tim Ferriss as of the 4-Hour Workweek fame. So let's take a peek at what Seth Godin shared on the Tim Ferriss Show.
That everyone wants the same way. So where all of this must begin and end is with the minimum, the smallest viable audience. Who are the people, just them, that when they hear about this, they're going to say, that's exactly what I was looking for. That's all you need. You pick.
This is so important. We don't need everybody. The minimum viable audience. Who are your exact perfect customers? Because when you create a marketing strategy that appeals exactly to them and solves their problems, you're going to have a breakthrough. I love this. Let's listen to a bit more of Seth Godin.
That group, you delight them and you forgive everybody else. And here's proof that you're not doing it. If someone comes to you and you are not regularly sending folks to your competitors or people who are thought of as your competitors, you are not serious about this, about.
I love that challenge what Seth gives us. If we're not regularly sending prospects to our competitors or people who are perceived as our competitors, then we don't really have a business strategy. If we want to serve everybody who's got a credit card and a pulse, you don't have your strategy dialed in, like Seth is saying here, we want to serve the minimum viable audience. We want to really get clear on who is our ideal client and what is the transformation we provide for them. All right, so I thought we should give the last word to Seth Godin. You want to go to seths.blog and subscribe there. He's got a daily blog. It's fantastic. So there were two blog posts that I wanted to share with you. I'll read this one for you. Speed, creativity, and AI. A little faster is a market advantage. A step change in speed changes the market entirely. FedEx was faster mail. It allowed them to grow and profit. Email, on the other hand, completely changed communication. In the discussions of AI, most people are failing to consider the step change in speed. A logo made in Kittle might not be as magical as one made by Milton Glaser, but it can be created 1,000 times faster. This means that the number of polished graphics being created will grow exponentially. When AI can give you a pretty good diagnosis in real time, it changes the way you deal with the medical system. Just as email isn't as humane or thoughtful or memorable as a handwritten letter, these faster alternatives aren't better, they're simply different. And, as the market often does, it prizes speed and convenience. And so, good, fast, and inexpensive is now possible. This opens the door to two opportunities. We can start building real-time insight into more and more components of our daily life. We can start doing human-constructed creative work that's worth waiting for. Great, not just good. Once again, it's the mediocre middle that is going to be devalued. That's from Seth Godin's blog, and I want to read you just one more and invite you to go and subscribe at Seth's blog, seths.blog. The AI effort gap is the name of this entry. It can take 7 years to get a PhD and a month to write a useful business plan, or a year to write a book. And yet when AI shows up, our mistake is thinking that if we can't find useful brilliance in one simple prompt, it's broken. Imagine what you could discover and create if you spent an hour focusing on just one piece of output. I'm seeing illustrations, narratives, and research that celebrate the hundreds of hours that went into each of them. It feels like years of focused work. If all that's needed is to push of a button, we can find someone cheaper than you to push it. So thanks for taking the time to let me share one of my favorite authors with you, Seth Godin. I hope you go out and buy his book. And as you know, this is Strategic Basics, and I'm Aurora Winter, founder of Sane Page Publishing. I'll see you on the next video.